Okay, good morning. My name is Jason Finch, attorney Jason Finch and Associates, located here in Omaha, Nebraska. I've got a comment the other day in one of my videos asking if we take cases outside of Nebraska. The answer is absolutely we do. We practice all over the nation. Since immigration law is federal law, we are able to go practically anywhere in the United States to handle cases, and we do very often. And so if you have family friends who would like to visit with us about their cases, we would definitely be interested in talking with them. As always, I'd like you to know that what we do here, we strive to be as honest as possible with what we can or cannot do for you. We always want to tell you the truth, and we are here to serve those who are wanting to be able to immigrate to the United States, maintain their immigration status. We love to be able to see you guys fulfill your dreams and your passions, and we're just very honored to be a part of that. Now on to what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about is the offices of immigration are starting to open up here in Omaha again. So there's two things I want to touch on with this. One is the restrictions from COVID there, and then also, if you've paid attention to the news, the probability that there are going to be some furloughed employees with immigration and how that's going to impact what we're doing here. So first of all, the COVID. What immigration here in Omaha is doing is they have already opened up to do citizenship interviews. They are doing approximately 4 interviews per hour. That is so that they can maintain the social distancing and also clean the offices in between the interviews. The interviews will only last a maximum of 90 minutes, which frankly is a very long interview for immigration. But if an interview requires more than 90 minutes, they'll terminate the interview and reschedule you to come back in because they want to be able to maintain their offices clean. The exciting news is that they are going to start doing the green card interviews here in July. They haven't really given us a date for that yet. That will be some great news for all of those of you who have green card applications pending. Just by way of reminder, I've already said this in the other videos, that when you go into the office, only you and your attorney can go into the office. If you need an interpreter, the interpreters actually are set up to come via telephone. So if you've worked with our office before, you know that we have our own Spanish language interpreters in-house that we use, and so they will be set up to be able to interpret the interview via telephone. Now, they're only allowing 15 people at a time inside the immigration building, at least for the interview part, which leads me to another point here. The ASC, which is the fingerprint center and the photo center at immigration, they are trying to get that opened up again. They're going to allow about 10 people in there at a time. This is very important news as well, because for those of you who are first-time applicants for employment authorization cards, this is you have to have your fingerprints taken and your photo taken in order for them to be able to further process your not only your green card application but also your employment authorizations. Only come 15 minutes before your interviews. They'll allow you in about 15 minutes before your interviews. Okay, now I want to talk about what's going on with the funding of immigration. In my last video, we talked about some of the reasons why I think that immigration's running out of money. If you pay attention to the news, there's sort of a debate out there as to whether it's the government's policy on extreme vetting and public charge issues that are starting to cause some of this. Others say that it's a question of, COVID hit pretty hard, and the government, it just took a lot of people out of the ability to be able to pay the filing fees and apply for applications. Somewhere in the middle is the truth. Obviously, some of the government's policies, President Trump imposing extreme vetting, adding layers, bureaucracy on the application process. And when I say layers of bureaucracy, these are individuals who perform a service, but it's not covered with the filing fees. So they're layers that are unpaid layers that contribute to the extreme vetting, which eats up all of the income that normally would have come in for immigration. And obviously the COVID, where people were losing jobs, unable to file for immigration benefits. So there's a combination of both things happening. But what we're looking at now is USCIS has asked Congress for emergency funding. They are saying that if they get this funding, they are going to repay the government back for the funding by raising filing fees across the board 10%. They haven't got the funding yet because on the one end, Congress is saying that the president hasn't given them sufficient information for the requested money. On the other hand, the president is saying that we have given you, our one-page document that's supposed to cover everything, and so, you should have enough information to give us the money. So there's a fight there going on, and then within Congress you have the Democrats and Republicans who are fighting each other on everything anyway, so we may not see anything come from this. We may see something. As of right now, it appears that the furlongs for the employees there at USCIS will begin early August 2nd or 3rd. They estimate that approximately 70 to 80% of the employees at immigration have received notices that they're going to be affected by the furlong. In terms of interviews, it'll cut our interviews that are already cut from 4 interviews an hour to 2 interviews an hour. The fingerprint ASC was set to open up, I guess, on July 27th, but if they don't, then that's going to also push back their opening. The really negative impact there is that all employment authorizations, especially new employment authorizations, which require the fingerprints and photos, are not going to be forthcoming. So you're going to have problems getting your employment authorizations if they're new ones. Now, if they're old ones, they should continue to go forward. Hopefully, fingers crossed here, because they already have your fingerprints, they already have your photos. Anyway, if you have any further questions or comments, please put them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. Appreciate your time. Thank you.